Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we'll be making this boxy crop top with a notch collar. This shirt is super comfortable and breathable, and your movements are not limited. So let's get straight into making it. So we have our two pieces here. This is our back piece, okay, which was cut on forward. So we're going to get right sides facing each other and put our front piece on top of the back piece. Then we're just going to go ahead and join the shoulders. Okay, so here my shoulders have been joined. Then you can now get your two front pieces, make them align, and also make the neckline to align in this position like this. Then I'm going to get this fabric, which I'm going to use for my facing. It's 8 inches wide and 23 inches long. I'm now going to place the two front pieces on top of the facing, and from the shoulder line trace out your neckline, your front neckline, and even the side of your front piece, and even at the bottom. You can go ahead and just straight cut it out, but you can also just trace it out for demonstration's sake, is why I'm doing this. So from here I'm going to go in by 3 inches, again 3 inches. So guys, what I did to get this facing is I just marked 3 inches. This is where we had left. Then at the bottom part you mark 3 inches again, or up to the bottom. Then you just curve a line like that, and do the same even with the other piece. So now what you're going to do is fold in by 0.25 and another 0.25 at the raw edge of this fabric, and then you can go ahead and sew. So do the same to the other piece also. So here's how they have turned out after stitching the raw edge. Then you're going to get your facing and place it on top of your front piece, right side facing each other. So place one here. Mine is a little bit longer. I will cut it off later. So place it like this. Then you can go and stitch here and also stitch here. So we're done with the stitching, and here's how it looks like. This can be turned like this to create the facing, and this is how it looks like from the inside. So the next thing that we're going to measure is our button allowance. So mine was 1.5 inch that I marked there. So mark the same 1.5 even at the other side of your shirt and just make the notch. So the collar is going to start from the notches that we marked. So put your shirt like this with the front pieces meeting. Then go ahead and make a notch at the midpoint of your neck circumference. This is a guide to where we start from when attaching the collar. So here is my collar. So stitch from here up to this other end. If your fabric is light, go ahead and use the gum stay. Then turn this inside out and just press it. Then we can now place it onto the neckline. So our collar with the midpoint meeting each other, that's where we're going to start connecting the collar from. So connect the midpoint there, then go all the way up to where the notch ends. So make sure you end up to where the notch ends. Then you go ahead and place the facing on top, which sort of like encloses the collar, and you can fold the end part of the facing here. Okay, and just pin everything down. Then you can go ahead and repeat the same thing even at the other side. Do look at the button stand. Make sure the button stands are in alignment. We need them to be equal. So go ahead and make a stitch from the ending of the facing up to here, from here up to here. Okay, so we have pinned and made a stitch from the beginning of the front piece up to where the facing ends, enclosing the whole collar in these edges. Then you can go ahead and cut out the excess. So here where the stitch ends, you're going to go ahead and make some snips just where the stitch ends. Make sure you're just making a snip on the upper part of the collar. On the upper part of the collar, even this side on the upper part of the collar. This is so that this part of the collar can be lifted up as you stitch the bottom part of the collar to the shirt. Okay, so I went ahead to stitch the bottom part to the shirt. Now enclose it with the upper part. So here is me just enclosing the raw edges. Using the upper part of the collar, it just encloses all this and just make a stitch from here up to here. Alright, so we're done with the collar, and now make sure that the button flap aligns together with the collar length like this. So now for the next thing, we're going to draft our sleeves. Then you can top stitch here, also top stitch here. You can even top stitch the collar if you like. So fold your fabric into 4 like this. Then new outline. So here's my shoulder line. Then my sleeve cap height is going to be 3. You can use between 3 and 4. I'll use 3.5, I think 3.5. Then my bicep line will be on 5 inches. Then the length is going to be 8 inches. So go out from the shoulder line by 2 inches. Get the circumference of your armhole. Then divide that measurement into 2 and place it on your sleeve cap height. Okay, then get also the midpoint of this line that you have created. Then you can extend this line upwards. Then get the midpoint of the sleeve cap height and just mark it here. This will just help us know where the midpoint is when curving. Then my bicep measurement was 16 divided by 2, which is 8 inches plus 1 inch sewing allowance. Then my sleeve round was 14 divided by 2, which is 7 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. Then you can go ahead and connect these lines. Then my hemming allowance here is going to be 1 inch, so I went ahead to measure where that is. Then when cutting, fold the hemming, fold it in like this and just cut. Then I'll just remeasure my armhole. I've got enough and a little bit of excess, which will be fine. You can now go ahead and cut this out. So I went ahead to attach the sleeves and I closed up the side seams. Then you can also hem the bottom and attach your buttons. So my buttons at the right side and my buttonhole at the left side.